Good day, everyone. Robert Weimer, the go-to guy of DesireADifference.com. And we are going to start getting down to the nitty-gritty of creating pages and posts within your WordPress website. We're going to hit those both because they're both very similar, but radically different. I wonder if I could be more vague. Okay, let me tell you the difference between a page and a post. A page is a static page. It's a page that really doesn't change at all. If you have a particular product, like our website, if we have a featured book, or we went into like the About the Bookworm store, or contact information, or the staff, that sort of thing. That is where static pages come in, because those pages won't be changed very much. Now posts are where you post your blog pages. These are things that get moved into archives, get moved behind other new blogs, and they also have a little bit more features to them. So we're going to go ahead and put up another post. Now you saw what we did in some of the other ones here. Now we're going to go ahead and kind of clear some of this out, because the drafts, we really don't have any drafts. So I'm going to go ahead and trash all of these drafts. And as you can see, it's a pretty easy setup. You can do an edit, you can do a quick edit, which I'll show you. And you can see what you can do right here in the post editor. You can cancel out that. You can also trash it, and you can also view the post. Let's take a look. I'm Stan the Man. Very exciting. And then what you have to do is you just have to hit your browser's back button to get back into your administrative console. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and keep all of these, but we're going to go ahead and get rid of Hello World. This is our default blog, basically the blog that shows up on every WordPress site at the very beginning. We're going to go ahead and get rid of that and trash it. Now, I'm wanting to go ahead and add new. And we're going to go ahead and put in I love books. And let's actually make it grammatically incorrect. I love books. And go down to our editor. Now as you can see, our permalink, I love books, and if you remember, this makes sense now because of the permalinks that we did. And what we're going to do is we're going to put a little thing. Since the age of 10, I've had a love affair with the written word. Books can take me to another world, another time, another place, without leaving my home. Okay, so we put in our first blog. Up here is where we put our titles. The titles is the very first thing that we see, and it needs to be very descriptive and very concise, because the spiders on all the search engines will love that sort of thing. So if you're familiar with any word processing program, lots of this stuff is going to look familiar. So since the age of 10, I've had a love affair. Let's see, let's go ahead and make this bold. Love affairs with the written word. And as you can see, it's bold now. Now what we're going to do is we're going to leave this as it is, and we're going to go ahead and put an excerpt on here. Now the excerpt is what is going to show up if you put this in Facebook, or if you have it show up as an excerpt on your home page. If you've got the settings set up to where it'll only show an excerpt. Your excerpt needs to be roughly about 120 to 160 characters. It needs to consist of not very much, but it needs to really cliff note the bulk of your post. So we're going to put my love affair with books as an excerpt. Now here's the thing. We don't have very much in the way of categories. So what we are going to put in is we are going to add new category. And we are going to put, let's say, let's put it as insights. And add new category. Now it's already there by default. Now if we wanted to put in a subcategory, we can put in books and change the parent category under insights. We can add as many subcategories as we'd like, but we're going to go ahead and leave that as is. Now the post tags. The post tags are good for the site, but they're also good for the particular post that you're doing. So we're going to put in love of books, separate it with a comma, my love affair, and the like. And we're going to click on add. And as you can see, you can do all this. Now WordPress keeps a catalog of all of the tags that you put in there. So the more tags that you use, the more of a choice that you are going to be able to choose from. Right now we don't have very many, so we've only got the 2. If we put in one that we didn't like, such as dog books, and click on add, and we just absolutely hated it, we can go back here and click on the little red X, and it gets rid of it for us. Such a wonderful, wonderful thing. Now we scroll down and we want to make sure that we allow comments. Now that's not necessarily a good thing if we have pages and posts that are hidden, but for the most part everything seems to be public, so we're going to allow comments, and we're going to allow trackbacks and pingbacks on this page. Now if you click on this, it will give you a definition as to what that is, and I will let you read that at your leisure. Author, depending upon how many authors you've got, you can choose the administrator or you can choose Stan. I wrote it, so I'm going to keep it. Okay, now this is the cool thing. Off in the right hand corner, you can choose to edit and save as a draft or pending review. You can also choose to make it public, stick the post to the front page, which means that no matter how many posts or whatever pages you have in the front, this post will stay. It's sticky. It remains there. You can also set it up to password protect, in which case you will set in a password, or you can set it in to private, which means that no one can see it unless they have the particular URL. We're going to choose to make it public, and I want to, and this is a good thing to do, we are going to preview this particular post before publishing it online. Everything looks great and fantastic. We have our comments here, and I see one thing that I need to do. Robert Weimer, the. And this is a good thing for review. So what we're going to do for right now, I'm not wanting to publish it, but I want to go ahead and save it as a draft. That means that we can come back to it later. And I see that we're going to have to go back into the users, and we are going to have to edit me. Right here. Display name publicly as, we're going to put Robert Weimer, the go-to guy. And I probably didn't save my preferences. So we update profile. And the nice thing about it, we go back to our posts and we go back to edit. And if we preview our posts, we will see everything is corrected. And it will do that on everything. If you have 50 posts and you see that your username is messed up, All you have to do is just go back in and change the author's preferences and setting, and it updates to every single thing. No more editing individual pages. Everything is done in the administrative console. What a wonderful thing. So we go ahead and do this. Everything looks fantastic, wonderful, and fine. And with the exception, I want to put a picture. Let's put a picture of a book. So let's go ahead and let's do a lookup of books. Now remember, folks, what I put in an earlier post. Put it up at iStock.com, get an account so you can get images without having to worry about copyright. But for training purposes, we're going to go ahead and do this. Books. This looks good. We are going to save it. Books. Save. Now, when we come across a post or a page that we want to incorporate some media, we go up to the upload and insert function. So we go ahead and upload image. We select files from our computer, books. Now, we can change it to however we want. Alternate text is good for search engine purposes. So we want to go ahead and do this. Books. I love books, which will appear at the very bottom of the image. Now you can choose to have it left justify, center justify, or right. You can choose to have a thumbnail, but as you remember in our defaults we had it set to medium. Now let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and leave it as such. We're going to head and put in insert into post, and there is our image. Let's preview. Looks wonderful, doesn't it? And there's our caption. Now if you'll notice along in here the brackets with all of this. This is what's called in WordPress shortcode. Now you can get into changing the code if you like. From my standpoint, I choose to ignore it. The image is there, everything looks good, we're going to leave it as such. Now, we want to make sure that we are not forgetting anything. My love affair with books, and we are going to go ahead and publish this. And once it gets re-updated here, there we go. Now what we're going to do is check out our site. Check out the Bookworm blog. And there we are, along with the other posts. Now as you can see, this has the entire text. So let's take a look and see and change our settings to see what things look like if we just choose. Now we've got the summary right there. Interesting. Interesting. Let's leave it as is and go back to posts. And I wanted to show you what we can do as far as a password page. Okay, so let's say that we've got a post that is basically for our subscribers only, or has product that we don't want people to see. We can go ahead and change the visibility options, and we can go ahead and password protect this. So we're going to go ahead and do this. Oops, let's do that. ASDF. And click on OK. Now let's take a look at the Bookworm. Go back to our home page. Download blog. And there's our password. It shows it, but you have to incorporate your password. Even if they were to put in that link, you would have to put in your password to be able to see the page. Once you do, you don't want to remember it, it will release the page for you to be able to see. A nice little bit of security on there. Allows you to create some content that maybe you don't want everyone to see. I tell you something, I'm really not liking the about, having it go right to that page. So what we're going to do is we are going to change the reading, your posts, save changes, and we're going to, since we're going directly to the posts, I want to go ahead and change my menu, and we are going to remove the Bookworm blog. Now this removes it from the menu, but it hasn't removed the page. Save our menu, and now let's refresh. Huge amount of choice, and we've got our blogs up where it is. Now let's double check our post, because for some reason it doesn't seem to be. Let's update. Typically whenever you have like a red box like that, it's an indicator that something is wrong and something needs attention. Oh, you know what? I remembered something else too. If you input the password in on the first time, depending upon your user, it will save it in its cache, and that same user using that same browser can go back. Actually, it makes it a more convenient thing. It keeps the person who has subscription rights to keep re-entering your password. So, and if they were to pass that along to someone else, that person would have to enter in a password. It's not like once it's lifted for everyone. It's just lifted for that particular computer, for that particular page. Okay, let's go back. One little feature. And also in the plugins, there are lots of password plugins that you can utilize that would give you more security. This is just the default security that it's there. We're going to change this back to public. Now this is the neat thing that you can do with WordPress. Excuse me. You can go ahead, and if you're wanting to set up a post and you're wanting to be gone, or if you are going to be gone throughout the weekend, but you wanted to have a couple of posts show up, you can schedule your post to show up at a particular time. You can choose to have it done on the 5th at 2010 at, let's say 21:34, and you click on OK. And then what's going to happen is that on that date and at that time, the post will go live. So if you're going to be gone for about 5 days, you can set up a day, create posts, or create 5 posts for those days, walk away, and it still looks like you're generating content for your particular site. Pretty snifty, huh? Very, very cool. The revisions you've got down here shows you what you have saved. If you were to click and check out your revisions, you would be able to see the differences and the changes that you've got. So you can choose to restore whichever revisions that you wanted to do. Old and new, current revision, it shows you exactly what you've got. So you can choose to restore a past revision, sort of like an undo that you would have on WordPress. Such a wonderful thing. Okay, we've gone over the posts and add new post. Let's go ahead and take a look at our categories. Now I went ahead and added some, but you can go ahead and rename one more so that it shows up. Let's put music. And you don't necessarily have to put the slug. The slug is usually done on your own. We are going to put this under the parent insights. Nope, I take that back. Let's put it under none and leave it as books. You can choose to have a description if you like, but it doesn't do anything with the browser. It's just basically for your own thing. Let's add new category. Let's do books and add new category. Let's do magazines and add new category. Let's take a look at that. Now, as you can see, the slug automatically puts itself in. So you don't really have to worry about that too much unless you wanted to get really creative. Now I wanted to show you something under settings. We're going to go back a little bit under writing. Now if you remember before, the default post category, the only thing that we had was uncategorized. But now we have several different choices. So if you find yourself putting in a post that goes under books or reviews or something like that, you can choose to have that automatically selected. Pretty snifty. Pretty snifty. Okay, so we have all of this. Interesting. I must not have saved it. I'm going to make it public. We're going to update it again. Alrighty. So these are our posts, our blog posts, the non-static pages. Now, oops, I almost forgot. Let's take a look at our post tags. Now you can go ahead and add as many tags as you like. You can add dozens or hundreds related to your site, that sort of thing, and then choose them whenever you decide to write a new post. Let's go ahead and fast forward a bit and let's go into pages. Now here is your about page, which comes as a default. Now you can go ahead and edit, and I wanted to show you the difference between your pages and your posts. Really not that much difference, but what you see, there is no place for tags. Normally it would be here. You still have the visibility of public, password protected, or private. You still have whether it is published. You still have the date and time that the page would go up, which is very handy if you wanted to bring a product online while you're spending time with your family. It's fantastic. But you do not have tags, nor will you have tags since these are static. So what you want to do is you can change the order of your pages depending upon if it default goes into your menu. Now the order, unless, let's backtrack. Sorry, I'm getting a little tongue twisted here. So don't worry about the order if you are into customizing and creating your own menu. Order only applies when you have a theme that its default menu posts the pages that you create. Okay? So we have already overridden that by setting up our own menu within this particular theme. We have full control, and I would highly suggest finding themes that you have full control. It allows you to have pages that are visible and not visible to the public. You don't want necessarily everything viewable by the public at all. So menu is a good spot to be able to have firm control over all of those things. So posts, if we go back and we take a look, posts, as you can see, has categories and tags. Pages, which are static and barely changing, has no categories and no tags. I'm Robert Weimer, the go-to guy. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me at robert@desireadifference.com. Thank you and have a wonderful and prosperous day.